Hi, this is Chris, and this is the start of our future pond site with all the holes from the puppies. We went ahead and laid these out in the barn just to make sure that we had enough lumber. And then we called in the digger guy to level the ground. He did a really good job leveling everything so we could start out on a level surface. Yeah, this guy was really good and got rid of all the puppy holes. So now we started out with a nice smooth surface. That's very helpful when you're starting a build to have a level surface to start out with. So we were very glad he was able to come by and level all that out for us. Next was the railroad ties to frame it in. Yeah, they were heavy, very solid. But hubby got it done. Then he laid out the sheeting, the house sheeting, and started the build. And basically, he was walking what he pre built piece by piece out onto the site. So that way he would know which board went where. And there's another shot of we started to dig down deep just to see what kind of earth we were dealing with, and that was the pea gravel that showed up and arrived. We wanted to put it down early because the wind was blowing up our weed abatement. And here he came back to help us dig out the entire pond. And we found out that it was mostly sand, a little bit of dirt, and some clay. So not too shabby, so it was real easy for him to dig that out. He's a real lifesaver. Saved us a lot of back-breaking digging, even though it is mostly sand. But he managed to get right up to the sides and make them nice and straight, which really was helpful to us. Now we just needed to go in and clean up the trim, which we did pretty easily. And he did run into some concrete pieces down in here. I don't know where they came from, but they were like maybe 2.5 feet down on the small pond. So he lifted them out for us, which was really nice, because if we would have hand dug that, we would have had to do that. So I'm glad for that machine. That machine is great. And like I said, we had to clean up the trim around the sides, and that was how we did that, by hand. And all the trim's done. So next went the rebar to reinforce the walls. And then we went ahead and we used some more of the house wrap just to hold it in so the sides wouldn't cave in, because like I said, it's mostly sand. So we wanted to protect it. And plus for the liner, to make sure that there's some kind of protection for the liner. We have no tree roots. We never came near a tree root. And like I said, it's all sand, so we felt that would be good enough. And it is. So this is the build, starting to add more of the timbers, piece by piece by piece, putting them up. That's all the sand that we got out. That was the puppy on top of the sand. But yeah, so this is us building them up, adding piece by piece by piece. And I believe that they are built up as far as we're going right now. Yeah, so we started painting because I wanted the inside and outside painted before we put the liner on, because we wanted to make sure that we protected it from the water and everything. So we used a special paint so that way it's water resistant. So we wanted to make sure that we got all that done before we put the liner in. And then we started on the bog, and that is about as high as the bog that we were going to go. So right there, that's done. And we just got to finish painting it, which we did before we did anything else. So everything got painted. And finally, the liner goes in. Oh, that was a happy day. Had to put an 8 foot ladder in there so we can get to the bottom. That was crazy. So we started filling it up, which was nice, and the water was coming out clear. And then look what happened. Yeah, our water out here was horrible. Plus, the farmers were in the field and kicking up all the clay and sand and dirt. And yeah, that is exactly what our water looked like. So that's what we had to start out with, which was horrible. So we went ahead and started filling up the other one, and I got the pipe ready for the bog and got that installed for easy cleaning and started building it up, changing the rock size as we went higher and higher. And eventually we went ahead and filled it all in. And we had to clean every rock by hand, which was very hard. But yeah, you can kind of sort of see the slope on that shot of how we sloped this particular smaller pond up. And then we had to deal with just torrential rain. It was horrible. It was really bad. It rained for 2 days. And yeah, I was afraid that it was going to start overflowing because we hadn't done the overflow yet. But we went ahead and found our uh, the lumber that we needed to go around for the inside of the trim. That we used composite decking that was fish safe, which was really nice. I didn't even know they had it, but it is water safe and fish safe. So we decided to use that because we like the look. And next, after we trimmed everything out, now we're ready to put the top boards on to trim the whole thing out. And so that's what we started doing. We started adding some of the trim work right. I think we should be adding it here now. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. We started adding some of the trim work on the top. And then we had to get all that painted. And I started, of course, adding plants because, I'm a girl. I like the plants. So we started the painting process for the tops. And I put the fish I already had in the pond. And we went ahead and added pond water. And it just turned that water like a tea color. Oh, it was so gross. But I needed to make sure that they wouldn't have too big of a shock from clean water to that water. So I went ahead and added pond water in it. And then the next day we got a shipment of the new fish that we had ordered. And yeah, I was really happy that they came so soon. So we were able to add them into the pond as well with the fish we already had. And that was our new view of the area that we turned from a puppy kennel area where it had digging holes to something that was a lot prettier to look at and a lot more inviting to go outside to be around. So that's our pond story. That's the way it turned out. And I am so very happy that we decided to build that pond because it is going to bring us years and years of enjoyment. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next